We're going? Welcome. You're watching Fairfield Public Access Television. I'm Susan Kessel. With me is Jeffrey Northrup. Welcome.
Hi. Good to be with you today.
So, we picked a nice warm day, to do this show. We're standing in front of the Fairfield Arts and Convention Center, home to the Stephen Sondheim Center of Performing Arts. We thought it was about time that we give the community a tour inside.
It's very exciting. The construction is just over halfway completed, and there's been an awful lot of work going on inside that nobody's seen yet. People drive by, they see the outside, but the real progress is happening on the inside now.
And a good thing is that it's warmer in there, too.
It is much warmer in there.
So the Fairfield Arts and Convention, we're standing across the street. Right in front of us, it has a beautiful view of the Jefferson County Courthouse. It's a full block to the west of the courthouse. We're looking at opening...
We should be sometime October, November of this year.
So there is lots going on inside. The community is going to be really surprised when we go in there and everything that's going on. And let's get out of this cold and go inside.
Yeah, follow us.
So we've just entered the door. What entrance is this that we came in?
What this will be eventually is the east entrance into the theater lobby is where we just came in. And right now we're actually looking toward the south. The other end down this long aisleway here will be the Parsons College Museum and Display Area. Right where we're standing will be the theater lobby itself. And then back behind you is the whole rest of the exhibition hall and the convention center. And then to our right is the entrance into the theater.
Okay, so when you're looking at the building from the outside, it's really, really hard right now to tell. People are saying, is that metal going to be on there? And we can say that no, it's not. It's insulated where that metal is right now, but that's going to be glass.
That will all be glass. Basically everywhere, when you look at the building from the outside now, everywhere that you see this white material, if you get close enough to read it, it says glass rock in blue. That'll be covered with either masonry or some type of vinyl siding. Anywhere you see wood right now or that corrugated steel will actually be glass.
Okay, so the masonry that will be added will actually be the reddish brick color that will match the courthouse and continue that look of the same coloration of the courthouse across the street. So you're not seeing that or the glass, so it's really hard to distinguish right now what's what. Doors and everything, it's really hard. And we are inside the theater lobby. This will be tile, creative edge tile. And they're doing a very large piece for us, not decided yet, but it will be in the atrium lobby. And like we said, behind us is the Parsons area. There's a little juts out on each side. Do you know the measurements?
I don't off the top of my head.
Okay. So in that area, there will be a window behind us that looks south, and it will be all from floor to ceiling, I believe.
Yes, that's right.
And in front of that will be the bar height chapel window that was salvaged, and that will be there, along with the original crest from the Parsons College that was salvaged, and a crest that Creative Edge will do for the floor from Parsons College, and a lot of memorabilia. It'll be a really nice area in tribute to Parsons College, and they are still raising money for that out there. So if you're a Parsons alumni, you might want to consider donating towards that part of the project. Also relating to Parsons, I had an email this morning about storage of the pipe organ, and that has been salvaged and is in storage, and someday will be included in the theater, which there is placement made for it.
Right. We actually have two platforms very high up toward the front of the theater called organ lofts, which is where the organ will ultimately be installed when it gets to its final resting place. So we will have a pipe organ available in the theater for concerts or special effects or whatever.
Whatever. That should be lots of fun to look at that for the future. So I'm looking around here. It looks like, are there going to be can lights in the ceiling?
There will. Recessed lighting. You will see these beams that you see wrapped in white they're called glulams. They're layers of laminated wood that's glued together, hence the name glulam. And those will be exposed, so you'll actually see that wood up below the finished ceiling. The rest of it will all be enclosed with finished ceiling, and again, we'll have glass doors and glass walls behind us here. So it'll be very attractive, but you won't see much happening on the outside probably for another 6 months or so.
And one of the reasons that you're not going to see it is when we get in the theater, you're going to see what's going on in there and what's in there, and be truly amazed at how in the world that got in there and how it's going to get out. So let's walk from, we're going to have the ticketing here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, two windows for ticket sales and whatever else.
Okay, and now let's pretend like we're walking into the theater area. We have our hard hats on because of construction. We have to keep these on, and hopefully our sound will continue okay with all the possible interference that could be going on in here. And we're entering the ticket office area, which is really, really huge.
This, as Susan said, this will be the ticket sales office and box office area. This area over here will be coat racks, and people will be able to self-check coats, or for more formal events, we'll have the ability to have people check their coats. But yeah, this is you actually won't see this when you come into the theater, since there'll be a wall here. But coming in, you'll walk down this hallway and on into the theater.
So we're seeing a lot of ductwork here. Amazing the size of the ductwork in this building. Every time I come in, it's massive.
It is. It's a very large building. It looks big from the outside, but it's much bigger when you actually come inside. So it's going to be very exciting when people first start coming in. But it is the ductwork. Everything in here is big. One of the things that people need to be concerned with when putting in air conditioning and heating in a theater is noise. And if you use very large ducts, the air can move slower and hence be quieter. So that's one of the reasons why we have these giant ducts. In addition to the fact that just the building is so big, it needs a lot of air to keep it warm and keep it cool.
And also, I know that the theater has been super insulated for sound.
It has. The theater itself, the walls are 12-inch thick masonry, and then we've got 6 inches of fiberglass regular insulation on top of that, and then drywall inside. The theater roof is a multiple layer of composite and insulating foam, and ultimately a membrane roof on the top. So we hope that it will be very quiet in here, that you won't even notice if it's raining, or hopefully you won't even notice when the trains go by.
And interesting enough, when we started our study for building this complex, we had special computer people come and they did sound checks. And the biggest sound problem that they could detect was actually the clock in the courthouse, which that would be coming down, which is the reason for the intense soundproofing of our roof.
Right.
So all kinds of things that we've had to figure out, learn, things I had no clue. Jeff is on our Civic Center board, vice chairman, and I'm chairman. And he's also our liaison between construction, and we're really happy to have Jeff as this, because you're very familiar with things, and it's been very, very helpful. And I think you're over here almost every day?
Pretty much every day, usually for at least an hour, sometimes 2 or 3 or 4. But it's been really quite a bit of fun. It's it has been a lot of time, and I've had a lot of fun learning an awful lot too. This is way more than anything I've ever gotten involved in before, but it's going to be great.
And it's been really nice because of Jeff's expertise in the theater area, because you've actually done productions and worked in lighting and sound.
I have. I started when I was in high school. I got interested in backstage theater, lighting, and then branched out into sound, and probably have worked on maybe 300 different shows over the 30 years or so since I first got involved with it.
300, that's impressive. So we recently ordered something for the theater, and you can tell about that, the sound.
We did. We have an Allen & Heath ML5000 sound desk, which will be the sound control desk for the theater. We found a very good deal on a used one. on the internet, not on eBay, through another professional sound brokerage firm. But we were able to acquire this board, which is less than 2 years old, in perfect working order for about half of what dealer cost for a new one would be. So we saved a bunch of money on that, and we're looking for other kinds of deals similar to that for lighting and some of the other things that need to go into the theater. We are watching every penny. This is an expensive project, and some things are ending up costing more than we originally budgeted. So we're looking for ways to save smartly. We don't want to do anything foolish, but at the same time, we do have a limited amount of money, and we want to make that go the farthest that it possibly can.
Yes, and so that little purchase there was a wonderful savings, and I'm going to just let people know that I think it's twice the size as Bridgeview's lighting system.
I haven't seen Bridgeview, so...
I've heard that it has, how many?
It's 48 channels input. It's impressive. When we get to the point where we open the theater and invite the public to come in and check things out, that will be one of the stations on the tour.
Yes. So thank you, Jeff, for that wonderful purchase and saving money. So we're trying to do this taping during the noon hour when construction has kind of slowed down, but I think we're probably going to overlap. So there will be construction people coming and going and some sound pickup, but that's okay because you're going to see what's going on. And do you know how many people are working in here now?
On any given day, it varies, but there are still people working on the roof on the exhibition hall side. There are people working on the heating and the air conditioning systems for the theater, as well as on the exhibition hall side. We've got plumbers in doing work. We've got electricians in doing work. We've got drywallers in. We've got people doing the steel framing. So there are probably, at any given time, several dozen workers on the site.
Wow. So let's go into this wonderful area, the theater, the Stephen Sondheim Center of Performing Arts. Let's walk down the hall. And this is where everyone will come and enter into the theater, which is a 520-seat theater. It is huge, absolutely huge. We're going to spend a little bit of time in here so everybody can see this. I feel the sound changing on me. I'm not sure if that's an echo or what it is. But so we're standing in the middle of the theater in a seating area.
We're at about row 7 from the orchestra pit, just on the north side of the theater. But this area will all be seats eventually. Right now, there are several large pieces of equipment that are being used for the drywall work and hanging ductwork and other things. Lots of things going on in here. It's really very exciting. You see behind us the mezzanines and the balconies. There will be seating available up there as well. You can see back toward the back of the theater, there'll be a technical booth. It's just marvelous progress. It's very exciting.
Yeah, I haven't been in here for a couple weeks, and oh my goodness. So the seating will slope up a tiny bit. I believe it will slope up a tiny bit. This is supposed to be handicap accessible from the entrance all the way to going on the stage.
Correct. Yes.
So I know people had questions about handicap accessibility, and it's totally, absolutely. You want to go on the stage, you can get there. I know our camera's looking all around because it's just wonderful, but she's pointing behind us. You can see, if you're familiar with the co-ed and you know how they have little balcony side areas that you go up, it's set up a little bit like that, only a lot bigger. There's not a bad seat in the house.
There won't be a bad seat in the house. That's true. The architect took great pains and consulted with theater consultants who have designed theaters before to ensure that nobody's sight line was going to be blocked with a column or a wall or even the back of somebody else's head.
We're also looking at a lot of different seating right now to try and come up with something that's very affordable but also very comfortable.
Absolutely. We have 3 different seating manufacturers have sent seats down to us for evaluation. There'll be a meeting on March 2nd that we hopefully can choose one and then issue a contract for the theater seats.
Yay! And we'll have maybe some of those out in the public for the public to take a look at too. So there's a place I'm looking up at the ceiling that I will never go, but I've seen you up there many times, and he's saying I think we should go up there. And I just absolutely will not go to the catwalk.
There are 3 catwalks, and you can see them up high in the theater here. They're the black things, and those are basically places where we'll hang some of the lighting, which will then shine down onto the stage. So the theatrical lighting, a lot of that will be hung up from those catwalks. And the nice thing about the catwalks is you don't need ladders every time you need to get up and move a light. You can just climb up there and adjust the lighting from the catwalk itself.
And weren't there originally just 2 catwalks?
We've had 3 in the design pretty much all along. At one time, we thought about dropping it down to 2 as a cost savings, but we decided that would have been one of those foolish cost savings that would have adversely affected the usability of the theater later. So we kept it at 3.
Okay, and looking this way now, well, you can see this huge equipment in here. That's the thing that it's like, how did it get in here and how is it getting out? How is it getting out?
Right now, there's a large hole in the theater wall. There's a blue tarp hanging in it, and that eventually will be bricked up, and the other side of that wall will actually be the public restrooms. But we're leaving that hole open until all of the interior finish work is done in the theater, at which point this equipment will be driven out, that wall will be closed in, and the bathrooms will be finished off.
And the equipment actually will go out the very front of the building that you're seeing where the metal is on the front, that will have glass eventually. And I heard Gus say even if they had to let the air out of the tires, they were going to get this stuff out of here. But I can see why they need it, because there's no way to get up high.
Right. It was quite a challenge to figure out how they were going to be able to finish the theater inside and then have the other part of the building, the exhibition hall, finished in time for an October to November opening. Originally, we just didn't know how it was going to work. And then some very smart people had the idea, well, if we leave a hole in the wall, we can bring this equipment in, and then we can take some of it apart and drive other pieces of it out whole later on. And if we coordinate the construction schedule so that the last thing to get done is the seats in here, filling in that one wall, and then the restrooms, and then finally putting in the glass where that steel is right now on the front, it'll all work.
So we're actually standing in gravel in here in the theater, and there's a lot of cement, concrete poured, but not right here, and that's because of the equipment.
Right.
Let's see if we can take our camera over this way a little. And the orchestra pit and the basement. This is the only part of the building that has a basement. And you never can have enough storage in a facility, so we really wanted a basement and another piece of equipment down there.
It's another one of those things, the basement, we thought about removing to save some money, but again, it would have been one of those things that if we'd taken it out, we could not have put it back later, and it would have just had a very bad impact on some of the things that you can do theatrically. With the basement, we have an orchestra pit. We have the ability to get under the stage. Our stage will have several trap doors so that we'll have the capability for having an actor appear out of nowhere or have a piece of scenery appear out of nowhere. A lot of special effects can be done when you have access to the bottom side of your stage, as well as all the storage down there.
Right. And looking backstage, there are 2 areas, one to the left and one to the right. Still some questions on finishing those, but a piano is maybe going to go in the left-hand corner in the storage area.
Well, we certainly hope so. There's a group in town who have taken it upon themselves to try and raise some money to buy a concert grand piano for us, and we wish them the best with success in that. And assuming that they do succeed in their endeavors, and we do end up with a concert grand piano, we will want to have a very safe storage area for that, where nothing's going to get dropped on it or harm it in any other way.
And I have no doubt that they will be successful in that. It's wonderful in the community to see so many groups, the Concert Association, the MUN musical groups, and all the piano experts in our community come together for this purpose, and they are dedicated to having that purchase made. So thank you to them for seeing that, because we have enough on our plate. What's going to go up there? And that's another place I'm not going to go.
Where are you pointing? Oh, up the ladders there. The two platforms that you see, which are about 18 feet up above the floor, will be primarily for storage. But the ladders on this side then go on up to the catwalk area, where you'll be able to get to the theater rigging and the lighting catwalks.
Okay, let's walk in the back of the stage, and we'll get a full view of the whole theater from that viewpoint. And the walls and things are being painted black, a flat black, which is typical in a theater.
Yeah, the black just cuts down on reflections. It also tends to hide things on the walls. One of the things about theater's magic is the audience doesn't really see how things really work backstage. You know, they see the vision that was created by the show's director, and how it's actually done is a big part of the magic of live theater.
So the theater portion of the facility, the Fairfield Arts Convention Center, will be the last to be finished, because this is the most expensive part of the building, and that will take the most time to complete. And I feel like I'm losing this hat every time I move. So actually the convention part will be turned over to us a lot sooner.
It could be as early as September, where the exhibition hall side and the classrooms are finished and turned over, yes.
So, lots to look forward to in our community with all the events that can happen in this part of the building in the theater. But let's go on out and try to share the vision of what the rest of the facility looks like. And which exit should we go out of?
Probably back out the one we came in.
Okay, so maybe we can turn the camera off?
We're standing on one of the storage platforms, which is about 18 feet above the floor, backstage. And looking out now, you can see the whole inside of the theater. Of course, as the theater is finished, there'll be a wall, and you won't be able to see that at that point. But you're looking out now to the seating area. The very back would be the technical booth. The large equipment down on the floor is down where the seating would be. The stage will be down where this large open area is. You're kind of looking at the orchestra pit now. Let's go on up to the rigging catwalks and have a look from what it looks like from up there. At this point, we're standing on the upper catwalks. We're about 42 feet above the floor level of the stage, about 54 feet above the basement floor. And what you see behind me is an area which will be occupied by the theater's fly system, which is basically a whole bunch of pulleys and ropes that we can use to adjust the height of curtains, lighting equipment, pieces of scenery, things like that. The counterweights will be stored in this rack behind me, and the actual rigging system will be along this wall. A total of 28 what we call line sets, which is actual the ropes, the pulleys, the pipes, 28 different things that we can adjust the height of independently over the stage. We're now standing on the first catwalk, lighting catwalk, which is actually up above the seating area of the theater. So about 40 feet directly below us will be theater seats. And if you look down this way, you can see where the stage will be, the large opening there with that big piece of orange and yellow equipment. That'll be the stage floor. And we'll have several dozen lighting fixtures up here that will, like little spotlights, that will shine down and actually light the stage. And it'll be from up here that we adjust those fixtures, put the colored gels in, focus them, get them to where the lighting is how the director envisions it. We're now standing on the third catwalk, the one that's furthest from the stage, and we're a little bit lower. We're probably about 35 feet above the stage level, but we're also above the mezzanine level of seating, so we're not that high above the seating. And where we're standing right now is where one of the two spotlight locations will be. So there'll be a person here with the spotlight running it, following the movement on the stage. As you can see, you've got a very clear shot down to the stage area. So from here, a spotlight can actually light up any area of the stage. You're now looking toward the back of the theater. This is the upper balcony seating area. So the different levels of floor you see will be rows of seats. And then directly under that will be the technical booth, which is where the lighting and sound and other controls for the theater systems will be.
We're back out in the theater lobby and the main lobby where you come in the glass doors, and also the atrium, and actually behind us is the conference room. It's a beautiful curved up against this portion of the theater part of the building, and the conference room.
It'll be kind of like an executive boardroom. We'll have a large conference table that should be able to seat as many as 24 people, and the room I think will accommodate maybe 36 altogether. But it'll be very elegantly finished. Hopefully we'll have a fireplace. It'll just be a wonderful place for local businesses to have their management meetings when they bring their boards of directors in. It'll be the kind of place they'd want to have their meetings in.
Yes, it should be nice enough, big enough that you can have little receptions in there, small art exhibits, just really a really usable area. And this is a room that the FIDA is naming with their donation. So there are lots of areas in the building that have been named. Some donors still have to select their names, but we do know of some, like the green room is going to be after Bob Tree, and the atrium is Iowa State Bank, and the ticket office is First National Bank. So a lot of donors have selected their namings, and we still have namings available too.
Absolutely, and we can still use additional donations. The theater, the whole building is expensive, as I said earlier. We are doing smart things to save money, but any further donations would be most welcome.
And the reason that we need the donations is we've went through several redesigns to try and bring the costs down, and as we were doing that, costs would spike up. The steel industry really skyrocketed. Even the wood.
Everything really has gone up. Electrical components, copper has risen dramatically since we started this project. It's in some things, electrical components are twice as expensive as they were just a year ago.
And then when we went through the archaeological part of the project, which was digging in the ground looking for our things, because this was a area of original Fairfield settlement, and they wanted to check everything out. And so during that 6-month time period, more things increased. So we have made a lot of cuts. Value engineered is the word. Lots of things out, and now we're trying to raise money to put those things back in, because they're very important components of our building. So things like the kitchen.
We do plan to have a complete commercial kitchen, which will be available for use by caterers when somebody wants to have an event here. If they want to have food service, we'll have kitchen facilities here so that caterers wouldn't have to bring everything pre-prepared. They could actually cook it here. The kitchen equipment and even the kitchen floor are things that were taken out of the project initially, because those are things that can be easily added in later. And we do expect to raise enough money to do that. I mean, we will have a kitchen. It's just we're very eager for some donations to help us fund that at this point.
Yeah, so the decisions that we made on cuts or value engineering, we included all the important things that had to be included, and the things that we can add later, those were the things that were value engineered out. Landscaping, we're hoping to do that with local volunteers, and local. And local is a big word with the whole project, as we've tried to keep everything as local as we can, and thank goodness for Schaus-Vorhees. They have been absolutely wonderful.
They have been truly, really great to work with. One of the formerly our name was the Jefferson County Civic Center. Before by popular demand, we changed it to the Fairfield Arts and Convention Center. But one of the goals of the original board of directors was that the construction would be done locally. The construction dollars would stay in the local economy. It would have been very easy to bring in one of the big construction companies from Des Moines or Cedar Rapids to do this project, and we actually had several that were interested. But in the end, we decided that Schaus-Vorhees was not only qualified and competent to do this project, but they are local, and the money would stay right here in Fairfield. And they have been truly, truly wonderful to work with. They actually are making a sizable donation themselves to this project. And it's just been great. It's good to see local people working on this project, because it truly is going to be a community center.
It is, and it's nice to have confidence in someone too in working on this project, that it's taken a load off my shoulders, a load off the board's shoulders, knowing that Schaus-Vorhees is very competent. So thank you. Now, also, talk about local again, Creative Edge, stepping forward and willing to do a wonderful design for our floor.
The theater lobby area and this area you see behind us will all be a wonderful tile floor that will be designed and installed by Creative Edge. They're going to design a custom, I don't know, a medallion, I guess, for lack of a better word, which will be inset in different kinds of stone and tile in the middle of the floor. And they're going to design that and cut all the tile and stonework and set that all as part of their donation to us.
Yes, they did Bridgeview's Eagle, and they said, Fairfield's our hometown. We want to do something really nice for Fairfield. So thank you, Creative Edge, for that, and we'll be working on that really soon. There's a lot of things in this building, still decisions being made. Let's see if we can walk back in here a little bit, and if we can give you just a feel of how the layout of the building is and how the use is. So we're walking through the entrance and into the atrium lobby, and camera people, watch your step. There's a lot of stuff around, still the gravel. This is where you see the blue tarp, where the equipment will exit and come through here and out the front. So this is all atrium lobby. This is huge.
It's big. It's, as I said earlier, the building looks big from the outside, but you really don't get a feel for how big it truly is until you come in here.
And if this weren't here, you could see out the glass front the most awesome, beautiful view of the courthouse. Boy, was this planned right. You can't see anything now, but it is absolutely gorgeous. This will be a great area for receptions and all kinds of purpose just in the atrium lobby. Looking above the atrium lobby is an area with a mezzanine area that will have offices, and this portion sticking out, that will be towards the steps?
Yes. Actually, this is right about where the wall of this boardroom, this meeting room that we talked about earlier, will be. And coming off of this little platform up here will be a curved stairway that will come down along the wall of that boardroom, which will be how we get up to the mezzanine area offices.
So this is an area that we kind of added a little bit later in our process because we realized we needed more office space, and it's a good way to go is to go up. Do you know how high the ceiling is in here?
I don't. I think we're at about 20 feet, I think, over on this far end, and then it rises up to about 28.
Okay. So from here, we're just going to point out maybe the areas. So straight back here, you have restrooms. Behind that,
There'll be kind of right under the front edge of the mezzanine will be the public restrooms, ladies' room and a men's room. There'll also be a concession stand area where people will be able to buy snacks and drinks during intermissions or during events, conventions and things such as that, trade shows. Behind the restrooms will be the dressing areas for the theater. Again, a men's dressing room, a women's dressing room, some private bathrooms for the actors. There'll be a laundry room for the theatrical costume mistress or master to wash costumes. And Dexter Company very generously donated a commercial washer and dryer for us to furnish our laundry room with. Further back from that will be what in theater we call the green room. And don't ask me how it originally got its name because I don't know. But that's kind of the little lounge area. When the show is going on, the actors that are not on the stage stay in the green room. And the stage manager comes in and tells the next one, that they need to be on stage in 2 minutes and that kind of thing. So it's kind of like the actors' lounge. There'll be a makeup area for the actors. And then the far back of the building will be the theater workshop space where the actual set pieces will be constructed. Anything that contributes to the magic that you see on the stage would be built in the theater shops. Coming a little bit over this way, that far corner is where the kitchen will eventually be. There'll be some mechanical rooms, electrical rooms, things like that, but the kitchen will be in that area. And then coming further around this way, we'll have two kind of large classrooms, about 32 foot by 32 foot square classrooms with movable walls, so you could have one big classroom, two small classrooms, or we'll be able to open those classrooms up and make them part of the exhibition hall, so you could have one very large exhibit area for an equipment show or an agricultural show or any kind of a trade show, or if somebody wanted to have a very large wedding reception, something like that. Just pretty much any kind of a use that you could imagine, we should be able to accommodate.
Now, I think, tell me if I'm right here, are there some kind of windows openings on here that we're looking at up above?
Yes, there will be. From the inside here, anywhere you see pink, that's insulation, and that will be finished off with drywall or some other kind of wall finishings on the inside. The areas up there, the white rectangular areas, will be windows. The white areas you see toward the back will be windows. Areas over in the exhibition hall that may be hard to see from where the camera is will be windows. And then, of course, this whole front area will be glass doors and windows that will allow us to look out over the courthouse as well as letting a lot of light in.
So this will be great light, natural light coming in here into the atrium lobby. This should be a gorgeous space, really nice. Let's take our camera and continue on over here. This part of the building is right now a little hard to explain, and probably for everyone and our viewers to get a really good idea, but we just wanted to share with the communities, take you inside here so you could see what's going on. So right now we're standing in one of those movable partition meeting room areas which open up to the full convention area. So the convention area is a total of square footage.
Oh, if you combine all the areas, it's roughly 12,000 feet. The hall itself is about 9,000, and then the two classroom meeting rooms where we're standing about now are about 1,000 each, and then the atrium lobby area adds yet more. And this can all be opened up to make it one contiguous space, or it can be partitioned out if we have smaller groups wanting to use individual rooms for smaller events.
Right, so multi-purpose facility you're looking at here. In fact, you can see the what is that? More tarp?
The green is, it's a tarp. That will be a large roll-up door. Big enough to drive one of those very large John Deere combines in if John Deere ever wanted to have an equipment show in here or a farm show. A full-size tractor trailer will be able to drive in. So a lot of flexibility with things that can be brought in and set up. We've got the capability to do portable staging. We could have a concert going in this end of the building at the same time that a theatrical event was going on in the theater. At the same time that another event was going on in the boardroom, and while yet another event was going on, perhaps in one of the meeting rooms.
So very flexible, and bookings, boy, we're having to turn bookings away already, which is a really nice feeling. One wedding we had to turn away, and another big local convention, because we're not quite going to be done soon enough. But it's nice to know that those things, people are thinking ahead, booking that far ahead, and that's why we'll be doing it. I'll be doing another show today with our newly hired executive director, Randy West. So he's going to help us get everything rolling as it should be, so that when we open, we're going full speed ahead. Very important.
We actually hope to be going full speed ahead way before we open. And Randy has a tremendous amount of experience in musical theater, theater management, running facilities similar to this. He's been on our board of directors for about 2 years. He's been in Fairfield as a vice president with Hawthorne Direct for quite some time. We're very excited about him coming and being our executive director as well as our artistic director. He brings a lot to the table, and I don't think any one person can ensure our success any more than Randy can.
Yes, and he will be working with Andy Nelson, who's been working in our marketing area and doing just a little bit of everything, because we had so many things. We're going in a million directions with building, with operations, fundraising, you name it. With the project this big, everything's going on at once, and it's overwhelming. So over here, we're looking at, let's see, area here that was originally going to be office space, but we've done some juggling around here, and we're talking now of actually this section here, which is 30 by 30 approximately?
Approximately, yeah.
Okay. This being the Fairfield Art Association space. Last week we were talking about the Fairfield Art Association space being in the back where the workshop area is, but looking ahead and function, we think probably the Art Association might be even better up here, and access to coming in and out of the building and not opening up the full building as such. So that's something, lots of decisions are being made as the building project goes along. You have to be a little bit flexible.
We've learned to be very flexible over the last year.
Yes, and even the mezzanine up above area, we weren't going to finish that, but we're thinking, boy, when you're doing something, it's a lot easier to do it now than it is to do it later. So lots of decisions, continuous decisions as we go. The interior design committee will be pulling together with making decisions, and the landscaping also. So lots to be done, lots of progress has been made, but you can see, hopefully we've given you a feel of the Fairfield Arts and Convention Center.
It's really coming along nicely. As I said in the very beginning, the construction is a little bit over halfway done now. We're at about 55%. Most of the work for the next several months will be inside, so you probably won't see a whole lot going on the outside. And then toward the middle of the summer, you'll see the finishes going on the outside and the final finishing touches being put on the building. So we'll hopefully be able to open the exhibition hall side maybe in September, and the theater in October and November, somewhere in that time frame.
With we're talking grand opening gala of December, the first part of December. It will be a really big, exciting time. We hope our community will use this facility. We want it to be for everyone, all ages, young and old, all interests, whether it be Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, senior citizens, all different prices of events, some higher price when we bring things in from out of town, and our local community using this facility, FACC, for theater. This is what this facility was designed for, is for our community, and it's going to be an exciting time. There's lots going on in Fairfield. It's progressive thinking for our community, and we're really excited to have played a part. So is there anything else you want to say?
I think we've about covered it. Just if anybody is really interested, we do offer tours from time to time where you can make arrangements to actually come in and take a look at things firsthand for yourself. As I said, we're open for donations of financial types or as well as time. There's going to be a lot of volunteer work to be done, especially as we get closer to opening. So anybody who has interest in supporting us, we welcome you.
Yes, there will be meetings planned in the near future. Randy West, one of his first goals is meeting with community members to find out what you want to see happen and go on here, how you want to use this facility. We will have public meetings at the library in March to gather input from our community members. Please try and come and tell us what you want. And then we'll also be forming a volunteer auxiliary, which will have members. We're going to need ushers. We're going to need all kinds of help from volunteers, and we look for that input too in ways that you can partner with us. So thank you, Fairfield. Thank you, Jeff, Schaus-Vorhees, everyone involved in coming together for the Fairfield Arts and Convention Center. Thanks.